Hi, this is Zach May with the US Chartbreakers here at ZachTradersCafe.com for Monday the 31st of July. Starting off with the S&P, where I suppose things couldn't look any better than they do at the moment. Obviously, that can be famous last words, but we've got the market consolidating well above recent support around 45.20.30, and above that we're looking for up to 47.20 by the end of next month. If 45.20 breaks, then I suppose the risk is down to the 44.60 area, which was the initial July resistance for this market. What's interesting to start the new week is that we've got this, we've had another bounce off this post-March uptrend line in the RSI window. It's quite unbelievable that there have been so many bounces off that, and each bounce tends to be a continuation signal to the upside. So as we've just had that one, looking quite encouraging indeed. On to the stocks, and a few repeats and a few new names, as normally the case. Ginkgo is the first one, and here we've been looking for the shares to hit a line of resistance from November within a rising trend channel base. I suppose it's also a saucer as well, so got two for the price of one there, but at least while we're above the old February resistance, around $2.20, looking for $3 on this one by the end of next month. Moving along to one of the stalwarts of the recent past, IonQ, and here you can see that we've gone through the various targets there, $9 up to $13, and then the final destination should be up to $20 as soon as the end of the next month. In fact, that could be even sooner than that, the way things are going. If you're a fan of the shares and looking for greater glory, then the next target up would be this resistance line projection, which is as high as $22, so maybe that might be for the optimists, the place where the shares would go. In terms of the downside, while we're above the $16 area, which was early July resistance, the upside seems to be valid on this one. Moving along to one of the most famous names in the tech area, which is Meta, although it was perhaps better when it was known as Facebook. Here we've got this steeply rising trend channel from November. Top of the channel there, heading towards as high as $360, which could be seen as soon as the end of next month. The reason for the relative optimism is the way that the shares gapped up last week and have held above the old resistance around the $318 mark is probably the fairest thing there. And while we're above that, looking for 360 by the end of next month. Beautiful bounce off RSI 50 there, ahead of the unfilled gap to the upside that we had last week. Next contender is Newell and Newell Brands, and here we've got this broadening triangle base, top of the triangle there, heading towards $15, which we could hit by the end of next month while we're above the $10 level. So risking around $1.50 to try and make $3.50 at this stage, but that gap through the 50-day moving average and the bear trap island reversal, the fact that there was a gap down as well, it makes this look a very encouraging situation. Another stock which appears here regularly, which is normally good news, is Opendoor, and you'll see why from the chart. One of the recent target here was up to $5. Above $5 we're looking for as high as a September 2022 resistance line projection of $6.60 by the end of next month. So let's see if the shares can remain above the 450 zone and then head towards $6. In fact, up to $6.50 over the near term. A stock which is difficult to pin down, as you can see from the daily chart, Pagaya, but it's been here many times. What's interesting is that we've had the first part of our target hit basically over the last couple of sessions, so up to $2.60, above $2.60 on an end of day close basis, looking for up to $3.30 at that May resistance line projection. So let's see if Pagaya can step up to the plate. 220, the end of day close support zone there for the stock. Moving on to Palantir, and one of our favorites this year. Here, bounce off what was previously a target there, around $16. Above $16, we're looking for around the $21 mark, which is a line of resistance from last year. That line derived from back in January last year. So looking pretty well set up still for Palantir for a new leg to the upside, especially while we're above $16. stock which has been rather entertaining over the last session or two has been Reata Pharmaceuticals. We were previously assuming this was in a broadening triangle, maybe looking for 120 or 110, something like that, but actually even with that triangle extended to 140, we can see that the shares have actually pushed through to the $167 mark. Very interesting setup. I suppose if the charting is still going here, then you'd be looking for fresh leg to the upside as high as $180, but let's see if the dust can settle first after that massive move to the upside. Moving along to Quantumscape, and here we've broken through the old 1180 resistance for the shares within a rising trend channel. Looks like they could hit as high as $18 by the end of next month, given the current pace of activity and the gap through, unfilled gap to the upside that we saw last week. Another situation where we've got a rising RSI support line and the shares bouncing off that quite nicely. Rocku is the next contender, and happy situation, as you'll see in just 1 second. Here we've had an uphill gap to the upside, very strong candle on Friday, and hitting the $88 target, in fact the $89 target, that resistance line there. Above 89, looking for a fresh leg to the upside as high as $102 by the end of next month, and that's certainly valid while we hold above the 2/3 mark of that range on Friday, so let's say $84, so above 84, looking for as high as 102 on Rocku. Down to the last three. The first one is the meme stock of last week, which has had a little bit of follow through. Here we had an initial target there around $2.50, the next target up to $3.80, and final target here perhaps by the end of next month as high as $5.70. The key here in the meantime is that we have plenty of end-of-day closes above the 200-day line and the $3 level. That would be ideal for potential further moves to the upside. On to Tilray, which maybe didn't look as though it was going to be that spectacular on the upside, but the unfilled gap to the upside, the bear trap island reversal, suggests that the longer we can stay above the old support on the way down around $2.16, the greater the chance of a move up to the main resistance there at as high as $2.80. Finishing off with Upstart, which has been absolutely incredible, and you'll see why when I type in the stock. The situation here is that we've had various targets, but the latest one around the $51 level leaves us looking for up to $72, which is a May resistance line projection, or up to the top of that May 22 gap top as high as $80 by the end of next month. Ideally we stay above, or at least on the right side of the $60 mark on any retracements for the shares. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.